big margin on the short track. Very, very difficult to recover. Joel Trotman and Glen Wood. Come on, Glen. We sponsor Glen's 1 tonner when it races. This is his streeter. And he's dialed in 1010 and a 668 is there for the Commodore. Glen comes out first. Beautiful tree, 0.055. Oh, beaten by a 0.048, so 7/1000ths advantage to Trotman. And Trotman goes too fast, runs a 666 on a 668. He's only broken out by 11/1000ths of a second. Glen goes into the next round. Mr. Trotman, get your wallet out. Keep racing.
Let's check out the big screen replay, folks.
Watch him at the finish line. Street Ute racing a street race car. And it was all too much. He had way too much speed as he went past.
You see Tyrone Begg as he went across the stripe there, his lights, his brake lights are well and truly ablaze, so he was confident he wasn't going to break out, and he's done very, very well, and he'll be returning. It's up to now to see whether his opponent will buy back in, which you can do during round 2. Now we have Robert Haynes in the Aeroflow lane, who's dialed in a 6.9. He's given a 3-second head start to Glen Wood, who's dialed in a 10.10.
Glen cuts a .08 light, and it's a .1 on the other lane. Advantage to Glen, and he does not need to buy back in because he is into the next round at 10.31. He is a great little racer.
Here at Chase the 8, Glen Sturkenberg in the Aeroflow lane, all purple in the VR Ute, dialing in at a 7.26. Lining up alongside Glen Wood in the FG1 tonner on a 10.10. Two of these guys know how to get it done here as Wood just bumps into full stage, gets set to go. He will get the first leave. He was a little quick on the reaction time, but slow to get away. And here goes Sturkenberg. They were almost even on reactions. Glen will try and chase him down, and Sturkenberg with the nose in front, but he breaks out. 7.25 on a 7.26. Sturkenberg goes too quick, and Glen Wood goes into the next round on a breakout by 1/100th of a second. Nicholas Rowe will play against Glen Wood. Glen coming out in the FG1 tonner. Dials himself in at a 10.10 for entry 42.94. Getting ready to go racing here. Nicholas Rowe on a 7.18. Will have a bit of time sitting there waiting, almost 3 seconds. He's going to have to sit and wait, and he goes a red light.
Goes a red light, and a 0.085 created all the pressure. Glen Wood with a better reaction time, a good reaction time in the car he uses to tow his race car to the track, and he gets himself a win. Runs a 10.22 on a 10.10. I think I'll be dialing in a 6.45 so that you can have a bit of wide open throttle fun and get another round. Jace Dobra and Glen Wood. Now, Glen at the moment is the sentimental favourite for me. I've been hoping all day that he goes a few rounds because I'd love to see his 1 tonner back on track. And I know $8,000 will go a long way to building a nice stroker for his LS.
It sure does help. Glen has dialed himself in at a 10.10 again. He dialed himself at a 10.10 in the previous round, and it worked. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Jace Dobra dials in at a 7.45 and has to wait for 2.5 seconds.
Look at Glen's reaction times.
Beautiful.
This is the car he uses to tow his race car to the track. Taps the brake to stay safe and goes safe on a double breakout. He's run a 10.099. Broke out by 1/1000th of a second. Jace has broken out by 1/100th of a second. The bigger breakout gets to lose. Glen goes into the next round. Champion bit of racing in both lanes. But he is now out, and Steph, with a more predictable package, is going into the next round. Glen Wood and Albie Bakranich. This is going to be another David and Goliath. Glen's been dialing in a 10.10 all day. He's been cutting some awesome lights. Albie just got let off the hook with a .3 light. He won't do that twice. Feel very confident about that.
Yeah, so Glen sold at a 10.10, Albie Bakranich at 5.12, so 5 seconds head start here for Glen Wood. Glenwood and the FGT 1-tonner in the Aeroflow lane. Being asked to push, actually both being asked to move backwards. So I'm not sure if there's an issue down the deep end, but both cars being asked to move backwards.
No, I think the issue was the way they went into stage before the dial-ins were put in. And
fair enough.
The system wouldn't accept new information because it said there's already 2 cars on the start line. So the system just said, no thanks. And Ray is now going back in to reset the information. I mean, both cars strangely ended up with a 64-second ET.
It's funny, yeah, good point. Look, I would have thought this would be a disadvantage to Albie Bakranich, am I right?
Very possibly. What Ray's saying that we should turn them off and push them back, let someone else come and do a round so Albie can have a little bit of cool-down time and prepare himself. So
yeah, that's a good
I'm sure
move,
Glen
yeah.
would be very happy to oblige.
Yes, indeed, yes. Yeah, good racer. But, yeah, I felt that might have been a big disadvantage to Albie had he been forced to carry on. That's not the case. Move back, as you say, I think it was something to do with the timing. But we'll have our next pairing coming and to take their place. Can't see them sticking their nose through the Chris Mills Performance Bridge just yet.
The timers were okay. The problem was the system. It wasn't accepting the 2 races' details.
Yes. That's an amazing effort there for Glenwood. And as you say, basically his tow vehicle for his race car to be right up here in round 6. And I don't know, but do you think if he was to go on and win the 8,000, that'd be the biggest prize money that either of his cars had actually won?
I would think so, and it'll be fantastic for him because he can get the race car back on track.
Yeah,
we love
lovely.
seeing the Notapuzl Ute.
Yeah, lovely. That would be great news. Not quite sure what's going on. Looks like Albie's car's been moved back into line.
Yeah, well, if Albie's crew were worried about the temperature, they'd be talking to our crew and trying to work out what's going on. Ray's going to do a dummy stage with the boys out there on the start line, make sure that everything's okay. Sharpie's having a look at it. System counted down, and it looks like it's all ready to be rearmed.
Indeed, they just gave us a reaction time. I think a couple of the boys put their feet in front of the time.
You have to do that, Sean. Ray could see something wasn't correct. If you let them run, then there'd be massive heat, all grief. It's best just to go, wait on, push them back, give us a chance to reset the system, wake it up, tell it that everything's all right, and then away we go. We can start racing. So the dial-ins are going in. Glenwood's a 10.10. 10.10 is his dial-in. Albie's crew are taking him back behind the water so he can turn the tyres again. Albie is dialing in a 5.12, so nearly 5 full seconds between these 2 cars.
You look at the top sportsman of Albie Bakranich there, and you look at its competitor, just an FG1 tonner. It's wow, this is what dial your own handicap racing can bring to the plate. Just a plethora of all sorts of vehicles competing against each other. It's just magnificent. I'm loving this.
Any combination of the vehicles that were out there today could race each other in the final.
I'm absolutely loving this concept. Really, really loving it. It's great to be part of it, and thank you very much to WA Suspensions for coming on board and supporting such a magnificent ride that is Chase the 8.
All right, 2 champions about ready to race. Glenwood in the tow car and Albie Bakranich in his very, very fast Dodger and handicap sedan. Glen comes out with a 0.1 light. Albie is going to chase him after 5 seconds and cuts a 0.1 light. There's only 3 1,000ths between them. Albie is scorching and gets the win with a 5.16 on a 5.12. Glen runs a 10.15 on a 10.10. His 500ths over, and Albie is only 400ths over. The winning margin was 14 1,000ths of a second, 0.4 of a foot, which is what, 3 inches?
Yes, indeed.
That is remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. Great job from both races. Good recovery from Albie. He had a lot more to think about then. He had to make sure that that car was not heat sinking, that everything was going to be all right. Don't want to run them hard when they're too hot. His crew are doing a great job getting him ready for every round. Glen, awesome nights racing. Some really close races. And let's get that one-tonner back on track.